All right, let's start, shall we? Alison is one of the largest free learning platforms for education, and it's a for profit social enterprise dedicated to making it possible for anyone to study anything, anywhere, at any time, for free online at any subject level. We currently have over 2,500 free courses with over 19 million learners and 3 million graduates. Alison has won awards from UNESCO, WISE, as well as the World Economic Forum. So what do we at Alison believe in? We believe that free education has the power to break through boundaries and transform lives. Our values: empowerment, the power of free education to change lives. Knowledge. As experts in online education, we provide high-quality materials to deliver on learning outcomes. Inclusivity. Inspired by UN's declaration that everyone is entitled to a free education, we are committed to equal access across the globe. And innovation. We look beyond what exists and constantly search for new ways to achieve our mission. As you can see, there's a natural progression. Alison's gone from strength to strength with each passing year. Alison was one of the first e-learning platforms in the world when it was founded in 2007. We won a UNESCO award in 2010, reached 1 million viewers 1 million learners in 2012, 3 million in 2014, and 5 million in 2015. A new website was launched in 2016, and in 2019, Alison was open to external publishers to publish their own courses. In 2020, Alison launched over 700 brand new courses. One of them was the Coronavirus What You Need to Know course. It was completed by over 250,000 learners, translated into 50 languages, and by 100 plus volunteers. So the engagement was tremendous. Alison also launched the new Alison Workplace Personality Assessment, which was massively popular. Now, we all know COVID's been a tough year for people in terms of finding and keeping work. This course helps people realize their natural strengths and really focus on them to empower themselves and give themselves the best opportunity to find the right kind of job. The new Alison mobile app for Android was also launched in 2020, making learning even more convenient. You can now start a course on our website and then continue it on to your mobile, or vice versa. Moving on to today's main topic of discussion: self-publishing. Now you can share your knowledge through publishing your own course. Remember, Alison are experts in the field of online education and are rigorous in delivering high-quality learning materials. Therefore, Alison is a certificating body. This means that Alison stands over the course quality. Alison also stands over the assessment quality. It is important that the assessments are of the same high quality as the actual course content. We have 11 different types of question formats, and we encourage publishers to use as many formats as possible. This ensures that learners are engaged with content and that we are making sure that the learners are absorbing the content as fully as possible. We're here to help your course reach that level. And we've got a review system in place to ensure that all courses meet the required level. What Alison provides you is the opportunity to earn an income by sharing your expertise with a global audience, upskill your staff or community, and create a public course that goes live to the world. Under Alison's revenue model, revenue is generated by advertising and certificate sales. There is a 60-40 split, where 40% goes to the publishers. You will have access to analytics to see how your course is performing. Payment is quarterly on receipt of invoice, and it can be made by bank transfer or PayPal. This brings us to applying to become a publisher. Some of you will have already applied and completed the application step. The application form is very comprehensive, and we recommend that you complete it as fully as possible. You will be given a publishing account at publishing.alison.com, and you must complete the 2 training courses, Introduction to E-Learning and the Alison Publishing Tool training course. The e-learning course, the first course, which teaches e-learning through theory and practice, will give you an overview of research-based methodologies for the creation of effective e-learning courses. E-learning content is a great way to share your expertise with a large audience, boosting your revenue and reputation along the way. By the end of this course, you will have the skills and confidence required to build high-quality online courses. The Alison Publishing Tool training course is the second course and introduces you to the main features and functionality of the tool for creating online courses. It will teach you how to create a course, write metadata, use page assets, and create assessments. After completing the short courses, you must build a sample course using content we provide in order to continue the process. You will not receive feedback on the sample course. If your sample course is approved, a member of the Alison team will contact you. Right. So after you've completed the training materials and have been approved, you can start to create your course. There are essentially 2 main types of courses, that is, certificates and diplomas, which are then further subdivided. Certificate is 1.5 to 3 hours long. An advanced certificate is 4 to 7 hours long. A diploma can have a duration of 8 to 14 hours, and an advanced diploma 15 or more hours. We recommend creating a certificate course as your first course. This can be text-based or video-based. Furthermore, a course will consist of chapters, which will have modules. An Alison course can contain 1 or more modules, depending on its course structure and its duration. That is, whether it is a certificate course or a diploma course. The modules will contain topics, and the topics will then have pages. This can be seen in the image on the right. There can be assessments after each topic, but a final assessment is mandatory. Resources can also be added to your course, maybe a handbook or a guide or an optional activity. If you decide to include videos to the course, the videos should be hosted on a stable and private website, the preferred option being vimeo.com. Please note that the video content must not be changed after publication. Now, some of you might have initially registered using a social login, like Facebook, for example. If that's you, you will need to create an Alison password before you can log in. To do this, use the Forgot Password link. This can be a stumbling block for some, so please keep that in mind. We will now be watching a video that explains modules and topics in more detail.
To write module description text in the Alison Publisher tool, click on the Edit Module button in the Module Tree Manager. There are two text fields, one for the module title and one for the module description. Enter the module title text into the field. The maximum number of characters allowed in this field is 300, including spaces. The module title is displayed next to the module number when the course is published. Enter the module description text into the field. The maximum number of characters allowed in this field is 500, including spaces. The published module description is displayed beneath the module title once the down arrow is pressed. What you write in the module description box will depend on the type of course you are publishing and how much detail you want to include. An example of module description text is the following: 4 units of interactive presentations, course introduction and concepts, benefits of e-learning, cognitive theory of multimedia learning, and e-learning resources. This gives the learner an indication of the content that will be covered in the module. However, it does not overwhelm the user with too much information. When you are finished writing the module title and description, click Done. You will then be brought back to the Module Tree Manager. To write topic description text, click on the Edit Topic button in the Module Tree Manager. There are 6 text fields that need to be completed. For instructions on how to write meta titles, descriptions, and keywords, see the video on writing metadata in the Alison Publisher tool. The topic title field allows a maximum of 300 characters, including spaces. The text you write here will be displayed in the module topic list in the published course. The topic description field allows a maximum of 500 characters, including spaces. The text you write here is not displayed on Alison.com. However, it needs to be written for SEO purposes. It will also be useful when you are writing learning outcomes, lesson summaries, and metadata. For information on writing learning outcomes, lesson summaries, and metadata, see the relevant training videos. The topic description text is a summary of the lesson content covered in the topic. The best way to write the topic description text is to copy the text used in the lesson and edit it down to approximately 500 characters, including spaces. The text in the topic transcript field is supposed to be a textual representation of the content presented in the topic. The maximum number of characters allowed in this field is 1,000 characters, including spaces. Once you are happy with the topic title, description, and transcript text, save it by clicking Done. You are then brought back to the Module Tree Manager. Topic title and topic description text is different for learning outcomes and lesson summary topics. The topic title format for learning outcomes is the following. Write the module name, then a hyphen, and then the words Learning Outcomes, as in the example shown. The description format for learning outcomes topics should be something similar to the following. The topic presents a list of the intended learning outcomes for Module 1 of the following course: Introduction to E-Learning Theory and Practice on Alison.com. The title format for lesson summary topics is the following. Write the module name, then a hyphen, and then the words Lesson Summary, as in the example shown. The description format for lesson summary topics should be something similar to the following. The topic presents a summary of the key content covered in Module 1 of the following course: Introduction to E-Learning Theory and Practice on Alison.com. Once you're happy with the topic title and description texts, save them by clicking Done. You will then be brought back to the Module Tree Manager. This concludes the video tutorial on writing module and topic descriptions in the Alison Publisher tool.
Now, sorry. Now let's look at the certificate course structure. A certificate course can consist of 3 modules of learning and 1 module for assessment. Within each module, the course content is broken into topics. A typical text-based module would have 5 topics. Topic 1 is the learning outcomes. Topics 2 to 4 are learning content. And topic 5 is the lesson summary. Learning outcomes are a short list of what the students will be able to do having studied the module. They also indicate what the student will be assessed on. Alison publishing team will guide you on how to write the learning outcomes. For example, the learning outcomes for a course on cryptocurrency would say that after completing this course, you would be able to explain the basics and origins of cryptocurrency, outline how blockchain technology works, describe the properties of cryptocurrency transaction, and summarize information about cryptocurrency investment. Please note that this is a guide only. The certificate course structure can vary from what was just stated. The publisher should contact the Alison publishing team to discuss course structure in more detail. Before I continue, Hilma, you had a question. I will be answering all questions at the end of the webinar, okay? Let us now watch a video that further explains learning outcomes and lesson summaries.
Learning outcomes and lesson summaries are written for each module in Alison courses. The learning outcomes is the first topic in each module, and the lesson or module summary is the final topic. The list of learning outcomes starts with an introductory sentence such as the following. After completing this module, you will be able to. The learning outcomes are presented as a list of sentences that explain to the learner what they will be able to do or know after completing the module. The learning outcomes can be presented as a bulleted list with the module number in the title, as in the example shown. The learning outcomes list features approximately 4 to 7 sentences. This number of sentences is normally sufficient to present the learning outcomes for the module. Each sentence begins with an action verb, for example, discuss, define, explain, describe. This tells the learner what they will be able to do. It also complements or finishes the introductory sentence. An effective way to write learning outcomes is to edit the topic description text down to 1 sentence. The lesson or module summary is a presentation of the key learning points in the module. It is normally presented as a bulleted list with the module number in the title, as in the example shown. An effective way to write the lesson summary is to edit all the text in the module down to approximately 2 to 5 slides, depending on the amount of text in the module. This concludes the video tutorial on writing learning outcomes and lesson summaries in the Alison Publisher tool.
Moving on to media elements. There are a number of different kinds of media elements that can be combined to create compelling e-lessons. These are text, graphics, audio, and video. Let's talk about some of the assets that are available to you on the publishing tool. If you've used Microsoft Word or Excel, you might already be familiar with the various formatting assets used, such as borders, fonts, italics, bolds, and alignment. Assets that can be added to pages through the publishing tool include headers, paragraphs, table, images, language, so on and so forth. We will now watch a video that explains text and paragraph assets in more detail.
Text blocks and paragraphs. To add text to a course page, click on the Text Block button in the Assets menu. This adds a text block with 3 lines of placeholder text onto the page. Highlight the text by triple-clicking or dragging the cursor over it. You can then type or paste in new text. If you are pasting formatted text into the text block, use the right-click Paste as Plain Text option. You should not enter text below the red line on a page, as the user may have to use a scroll bar to read it. If you are filling a page with text in one block that is approximately 250 words, it is recommended that you distribute the text into a number of separate paragraphs, as this will make reading easier. You can add multiple text blocks onto a page. You can resize a text block by hovering the cursor over its right-hand side boundary. This changes the cursor into a resize tool. Left-click and drag the boundary to the left to resize it. Note that the text blocks may reposition on the page when resized. You can add a border to a text block by clicking on the Borders button in the Options menu. The Edit menu includes the following features for text blocks. Align the text left, center, or right. Note that this applies to all the text in the block. You can change the text size by clicking on the Font Size button and choosing from the options. You can make the text bold, italic, underlined, superscript, and subscript. The Convert to Snippet button changes the font style and background color of the text block. It also adds a colored border to the text block. You can preview a page by clicking on the Preview tab in the Page Editor. To undo this formatting, simply click on the button again. This concludes the video tutorial on text blocks and paragraphs.
Just to reiterate a point that was mentioned in the video, please be wary that the text does not spill past the red line. If you're using a tablet and you have text spilling below that red line, you would need to scroll to see the information. And the way we design our courses, we ensure that they're easy to use and see. Also, our publishing tool does not have an autosave feature. So you need to make sure you save your progress on each page, otherwise you will lose your work. Moving right along. How are the courses marketed? Many users will find your course on Google rather than through Alison. Having the correct metadata will help you rank well on Google. In addition, you will be expected to promote your courses using Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Alison's marketing will include new course announcements to our user base, blog posts, and social media campaigns on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's really a joint effort, so an audience of your own is massively beneficial. Right, as mentioned before, in order for your course to be approved, it has to meet Alison's criteria. Let's find out how that works. Each course is reviewed by an Alison team member. The criteria being reviewed is, first of all, quality of content. This will include readability, clarity, to make sure that the content is easy for the reader to understand, image and video quality, and audibility, to make sure that the images have a good resolution and your videos look professional and the sound is clear. Copyright issues. We will revisit this particular criteria shortly. Additionally, there's course structure, course duration, learning outcomes, lesson summaries, assessments, metadata. Now, a brief introduction on metadata. Metadata are short paragraphs of text that provide a brief description of a web page. This text appears as metadata in a page's HTML code. Text from metadata also appears on search engine result pages. The text is part of a larger piece of information that includes meta title, meta description, and keywords. This information also appears in a few other places associated with the web page. The meta title appears in a web browser's tab, and the meta title and meta description are often featured on social media posts that share the page. To improve search engine ranking, meta titles, meta descriptions, and keywords are written at course level and topic level. SEO, in layman's terms, is about getting a website to the top of the search engine's rankings, such as Google and Bing. Please note that each course will be reviewed using this criteria, no matter how many courses you have successfully created in the past. We're almost towards the end now. When you submit your course, the Alison team will send you feedback on it. We would expect the course to be completed with about 2 rounds of feedbacks at most. If the course meets standards, it will be published on Alison. Each course is evaluated on its own merits. This means that we evaluate each course individually. As mentioned before, if you have been published on Alison once, it does not guarantee you will be published again. A very important thing that is we need to be aware of is the matter of copyright and plagiarism. Now, what is copyright? It is a type of intellectual property that gives its owner the exclusive right to make copies of a creative work, usually for a limited time. On the other hand, plagiarism is when you take someone else's work and present it as your own. You must be aware of any copyright issues. Copyright applies to text, videos, and images. It is your responsibility to ensure there are no copyright or plagiarism conflicts. Keep in mind that Alison will immediately close any course that is found to be plagiarized. Copyright varies from country to country, so the best rule of thumb is, when in doubt, just leave it out. Finally, as a reminder, if you want to become a self-publisher, you have to first complete 2 short courses, after which you will be sent content for you to publish as a test course. If the test course meets the required standards, we will then send you a contract. Once the contract is signed, you can start creating courses. You will need to supply your bank details for payment.